Alright, so it's double upload day today. We are looking at two versions of Kethis. So there was one that was sitting in my recording queue scheduled for today, and it's been sitting there for long enough that we've actually gotten a new card that has shaken up the Kethis deck, and now I need to re-record it. Since I've already recorded this one, I thought that I might as well just give this one out as just like a free double upload today. So do enjoy that, and I'd recommend checking out that video before you watch this one, in case you want to see kind of like where this deck was at, so that you can see where it is now. And so the big things that have changed in here include a couple of things. One is the addition of the new card Agatha's Soul Cauldron, but the important part of this is that there are a lot of layers that this card helps kind of bring to the surface. So ultimately, like you saw in my last video, we are a deck that can win through milling ourselves through Jace the Perfected Mind with a Kethis on the battlefield, ultimately winning with a Jace Wielder of Mysteries. What some of these decks will do is also just try to run your opponent out of cards with a bunch of Jace activations in order to mill your opponent fully. But sometimes your opponents will just run Gaia's Blessings, and then you'll just be absolutely ruined. So to go against that, we are running a one of Jace Wielder of Mysteries in case that becomes a thing we need to do. Other than this, the thing that Agatha's Soul Cauldron is really, really good for is copying the Kethis activation. So Agatha's Soul Cauldron, people have been playing it in a bunch of different decks, so have I, and so I think by this point you guys probably don't need an introduction to this card. But more or less, you can use its activated ability to exile a specific card that you want to have its activated abilities on other creatures for, and then Agatha's Soul Cauldron will put a 1/1 counter onto something, and then it'll have that ability. So what we want to do here is if Kethis cannot stick on the battlefield because our opponent removes it, we now have redundancy in the fact that we can use Agatha's Soul Cauldron, exile our Kethis, and then give that ability to any one of these other creatures. And now anytime we're able to add a counter to a creature, we can, slap that Kethis activation onto any creature. We can even exile creatures out of our opponent's deck if it comes down to it, so there's a lot of different ways that this can go. So Agatha's Soul Cauldron is pretty nice in that respect, and the other thing that it also does is make Emry more valuable. So Emry was already in this deck and was a very important piece because of her ability to re-loop these Mox Ambers as you're getting towards your combo turn. And her ability to also mill is a little bit useful as well to fuel a Kethis graveyard. But now Emry has the additional ability of being able to mill to find our Agatha's Soul Cauldron and to recast that because it's an artifact. So pretty cool that it's giving Kethis more utility, Emry more utility, and just, slotting in as a generally useful creature enabler as well. Of course, this is a deck that is playing Rona for the early game looting, and so that we can kind of have velocity through our deck. We also have Kinnan because Kinnan doubles the amount of mana output from our Mox Ambers and Delighted Halflings, which is great. Plus he has this activated ability that can help us look for more creatures. And so we're really happy to just do all of these sorts of things all in one deck. Relic of Legends is back. I did not play this in the original version of this deck, but it is something that is pretty popular to see people play. So do just know that that is an option for you. Other than that, we're also a Zirda deck. And Zirda's pretty interesting in here because it can discount the activated abilities, which affects both Rona's flip and Kinnan's activation. So if we need to play a fair game or the game goes long, maybe this is a way we want to go. So with that being said, we are basically a blue-green deck, with the exception of Zirda, Kethis, and I believe that's it. I guess the black pip on Rona. We are completely Simic, which is really cool. So our Mana Confluence, Positive Heroes, and Great Hall of the Citadel are just decent to have because they help us get to the colors that we need. And we feel like we're going to be very good at casting Kethises and Zirdas, and that's where you want to be in this deck. With that being said, this is the updated Kethis combo as far as Eldraine is concerned, so I hope you enjoy this one. This is my take on the brew, and hopefully we'll see it do some good things today. With that being said, if you've enjoyed the content and want to support me, you can do so by dropping a like on the video or by commenting whatever you're feeling about this deck. Do you play a different version? Do you like this version? Do you think we need to have Jace Wielder of Mysteries in the deck? I mean, I just lost to a Gaia's Blessing, so I'm for sure putting one in there, but I know a lot of people just feel fine with 4 Jaces in the deck. Also, if you are a new viewer of my channel and want to support me, you can do so by slapping the subscribe button silly. Helps me out a bunch. Alright, all that stuff out of the way. Let's hop to some games and get in there with Kethis combo. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is our round 1. The mana start is okay here with Delighted Halfling chillin'. Jace Wielder of Mysteries is potentially just a value play at some point, so it's not the worst thing that could happen. We could go Relic of Legends on turn 3 and then follow up with an uncounterable Kethis. That could help us ramp eventually for a Jace. I'm down to do that. Start with the Plaza of Heroes, or maybe we'll start with the Mana Confluence so we can actually cast our Delighted Halfling. Opponent has already made multiple mulligans, which is good to see from our perspective, but it makes you wonder what are they up to over there. So let's see. Alright, so they go down to 5. That's always a good thing to see from across the table. We'll go in with our Delighted Halfling play and get started. The opponent's on red. Okay, interesting. We could just start with a Jace, to be honest. I think what I want to do, though, is Relic of Legends first. Yeah, Relic of Legends is better first. We want to be able to ramp something out. Ramp our Jace Perfected Mind out, and then just drop a Kethis next turn and go to town. Alright. Opponent's going to bonk us a little bit here. I think that we just need to watch out for burn, basically. Throw Alchemist as well. This is just the tap deal damage to your opponent's deck. Fine. We'll just go cast a Jace for full. Going down to 16. We are going to mill ourselves for 15, and I think without much interaction, our opponent's going to have a hard time dealing with us. So notably, we see Kinnan in the graveyard, we see an Emery, and we see a Mox Amber, so those are all pretty good. We need one more Mox Amber in order to do what we want to do. I think that I'm okay to play with my life total a little bit here, so we'll pay some life here. I want to make an uncounterable Kethis just, you know, to be safe, because this is what we would want to do generally. And then we're going to activate Kethis. Kethis is going to get rid of some things that we don't care about too much. Let's get rid of an Otawara, and do we have another legendary land in here? We do not. So I think I'll just get rid of Arona. Alright, now we can cast things out of the graveyard. We'll start with the Mox Amber. Actually, we'll start with a Kinnan first. Yep, Kinnan activating with Kethis. There we go. And then Relic of Legends is going to help us cast more things, which is great. We'll take some more damage here, and our opponent has now effectively F6'd. Here's a Mox Amber. Here is going to be an Emery. And we will mill a little bit here. And then what happens from this point? We can do one more activation of our Jace the Perfected Mind here. We can even Emery once before, but I'll just go ahead and start Jace now. Auto go with Jace. We will tap you, and we will tap you. We'll go Jace -5 again, and we, I believe, are pretty close to finding our line here. Down to 16 cards in library. I will avoid doing the last iteration of this just in case. We can get rid of 2 Kinnans. And there is another Mox Amber, so this is what we want to see. We should be finished here. We're going to float a bunch of blue mana here. I did not get another one of these Moxen, so I will just start going in and working out with the Jace the Perfected Mind loop. So we cast it for full. And we are going to, I think, mill our opponent now. I think we have enough to do it. Mill our opponent. They have 50 cards, so it's going to take 4 activations, or 4 Jace iterations. We potentially could just look for more Mox Ambers. I think that's actually what we need to do, because we're really not ready to mill our opponent just yet. And then, so we go Mox Amber. Go like this, and then we'll go for Jace, paying the Phyrexian. And then we'll mill ourselves for 9, hopefully find another Mox Amber and continue. Go to 7 cards. And there's our other 2 boxing. Cool. So now we resume what we wanted to do. We'll get rid of these 2 things. And now we got our mana set up. Make some blue. Cast another Mox, make some more blue, and we are off to the races. And we have our 3rd Mox Amber. Make more blue. Now we go Jace. We will pay that one for full. Jace minus for 15. Target on play. There we go. We have 3 mana sitting in the pool, so we go Jace one more time for full. Jace minus 5. Add our opponent. And then we need to go one more time, so we'll cast this activation, exile Agatha, and then one of the other Kethises. Cool. We go Mox Amber, make some mana. Mox Amber, and cast our final Jace. Jace for full. Give them that minus 5, and we have round 1 here. Cool. And we'll go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent, who will draw from an empty library. Alright, nice. And we actually have the new animation. I think this is new as of Eldraine. You guys might correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but it's cool to see another lose animation to go along with the normal death by points of damage and the infect damage thing. So that was a great round 1. We were able to execute the combo, and yeah, we didn't get Gaia's Blessing, so that felt good. Let's hop into round 2 and try to do it again. Alright, round 2, let's go. We have Delighted Halfling turn 1, except we don't have green, so that's a problem. That actually makes a pretty big issue when it comes to playing our hand. Plaza helps us cast the Kinnins, which would help us make mana if Delighted Halfling was on the battlefield, but I think that this is kind of clunky, so we'll go to 6, even though our opponent kept 7. I think this is better. We can get rid of our backup Kinnin, and then I think the move is to play a Rona early. Opponent going with some combo as well. Let's see whose combo is going to be better. Oh, this is maybe not combo. I don't really know what I'm seeing. Okay, cool. So, plan doesn't really change here. It's going to be Rona next turn. Opponent is drawing and discarding, but they have elementals in this deck, which is just interesting. I wonder if they're going to try to load up the graveyard and animate a bunch of stuff. Multiple Scampering Sorcerers hit the graveyard. Okay. Well, we'll put our 1/3 into play. Hopefully she can either eat a Lightning Helix that would otherwise go face, or well, I don't really know what would happen. Maybe they have a shock and it won't be able to kill her. That'd be ideal. Thunderkin Awake. Ah, that's what it is. I like that. Thunderkin Awakener. Very cool. So, yeah, Thunderkin Awakener just cares about the power of the creature that it's reanimating, which is cool. Very fun thing to do there. I'm thinking that maybe we drop a Kinnin, kill the Thunderkin Awakener if it hits the battlefield. We want to always make sure that we draw discard a card here. And we'll probably get rid of our Jaces because we're going to use those later. However, that's probably not a good move because we can just play Cyclonic Rift. I don't think we need to use Cyclonic Rift is what I mean. Okay, cool. And then so we go Mox Amber. Can draw and discard again. Looking for something here. Relic of Legends is nice. I'll probably discard that though. And now we have an Emery, which is nice. We'll make sure to respond again with Rona. Draw, discard. I think I actually do want to land, though. We'll probably put one of the Jaces back. We really do just need one to get started. And we have Agatha's Soul Cauldron as well. The 1 mana from Breeding Pool doesn't do anything for us, so we'll just chill. Okay, and we've got blockers now. We hopefully can maintain this board going into next turn, and then we'll just combo our opponent out. The one thing that we're missing is the final the final Mox Amber, though. So it might just have to be a turn where we play Jason Mill ourselves for a bunch, looking for it. We have 2 turns of a win set up here. So they're going to take another Scorcher here, I imagine. Sure. Risen Reef, very cool little combo going on here. So we are going to... They have no combat tricks or anything, so we'll eat there and we will eat there. Okay, and then I will draw discard. We want to fill this graveyard up as fast as possible, get rid of the land. We want to keep the Jace. Find another Rona. We'll activate our first Rona, getting rid of our Rona. Now we have a Great Hall of the Citadel. We will go ahead and pay for a full Jace. And Jace is going to go ahead and mill us.
You cannot win. Your victory, nothing could be more vulnerable.
Did we hit another Mox? That will allow us to do what we want to do and cast this guy. We actually didn't hit a Mox, I'm surprised. That's unfortunate. So we'll Rona draw discard, see if we can hit our Mox right now. Unfortunate. So maybe now we just go ahead and play our Relic of Legends, but we are still missing 1 mana in order to do so, so it's Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Alright, so there's Soul Cauldron. And we are gonna wait 1 more turn here, unless I can get a Kethis out right now. I can actually do the Kethis activation currently, but I don't have the mana to get going. So we wait a turn, that's fine. No need to attack, we'll just hang out here. Having the Relic means that I don't need to cast this anymore, which means that the mana that I have untapped will help me to just start going off with our Jace activations. So we should be able to get them next turn. It basically just counts, the only thing that really matters is us just hitting another Mox Amber. Brushfire Elemental is going to pressure our life total, but I think if we can just kill them before it gets an attack or 2 in, we'll be okay. Yeah, that thing's getting big, that's for sure, though. This is going to be a big elemental, that's for sure. Vesperlark. Oh man, that's cool. Vesperlark on the Scampering Scorcher, sure. Alright, so they go in. It is quite a lot of damage. And I think the idea here is to go in with the Brushfire Elemental and kill me, I believe. We can chump block with Kinnan if it really comes down to it, though. So, we're chilling. Risen Reef will go down. They're going to make a big Brushfire. Sure. Okay, and then we will Agatha Soul Cauldron, exile. Vesperlark can go from their graveyard. And we'll put a counter on Kinnan. Kinnan will be our sacrificial blocker. They're throwing, I think, exact lethal. A little bit over lethal, so I do need to block Kinnan here. And then I'll take the Risen Reef with Rona. And that feels pretty solid to me. Alright, we have Jace Wielder of Mysteries in hand. What do we do from this point? Well, we're going to have to activate Agatha's Soul Cauldron on our own graveyard, choosing our Kethis, wherever he is. There he is. And let's go ahead and put it on Rona, since we're not going to need to do any transformation or anything. I want to keep that Kinnan as a possibility if it comes down to it. And okay, here we go. We're going to have to go for a full Jace here. We unfortunately don't get the discount that casting our own Kethis would have gotten us, unfortunately. So we will go ahead and just chillax here for a sec. Jace mill ourselves for 5. And yeah, we just need our Mox Hammer, which I did just see one of. Cool. So let's activate here. Boseiju can go, Rona can go. Alright. Mox Amber. We will go ahead and draw a discard because why not? Just get a little bit more for free here. We'll discard the Chromatic Sphere. And then we will keep the untapped Mox Amber. Okay, so we'll probably go make blue here. And we want to cast our Kinnan. Resolve. Alright, now we have a Kinnan. Now we can go ahead and find our next Mox Amber, make that castable. It's going to be a bit of a process here, but I think we can do it. Do we actually have a land drop? Is that right? No. I guess I can play this from my graveyard. Sweet. That's actually extremely helpful. Okay, cool. So we'll continue doing these sweaty draw discards with Rona. Alright, nice. Now we have, we'll put Jace in the graveyard. Untap her. We have this. We'll keep this. We're going to make some blue, and now we should have it. We will activate, trigger our Rona. Rona will draw a discard. And then we also had Emery, the Lurker, the Lock to get started with one more Mox Amber activation. Then what it comes down to is just a few loops through Kinnan. We'll have enough to go ahead and Jace our opponent to death. Cool, so we had it. Took me a while to get there. This is definitely a very complex deck, and if you really want to get good at it, the lines that you can find to a combo are actually they're varied a lot. And it's kind of an art to being good at finding this kind of stuff. So, you know, I'm always learning. If you guys see the lines faster than me, feel free to comment them down below. I don't really know. Whatever makes a good comment for you. With that being said, I think we had a solid round 2 here. We're able to find the combo again, and let's try one more time. See if we can do it again. Here we go. Alright, here we go. Round 3. Well, we have a Jace. Jace could find something to do with this Agatha's Soul Cauldron. So I will keep it. Didn't really even look at the colors of mana that I had here, but they do work out. Let's play a blue source first. We'll play Rona. The next turn I think we'll probably just play an Agatha's Soul Cauldron. We're up against Harmonic Prodigy, which is potentially scary. Here is Rona. Let's just hope that they can't go too ham with Harmonic Prodigy here. Oh, this is the Wizards deck. I got it. Okay. Yeah, you either see Harmonic Prodigy in Gruul aggro or in Wizards. So they just need to just get a creature onto the battlefield before they can really do too much. They also just might kill our Rona. Okay, they just cycle that with Harmonic Prodigy. I'm down. That thing's got prowess, so I will not block. All the Harmonic Prodigies coming into play here. We can play Emery. We could play Agatha's Soul Cauldron plus a land. Play Delighted Halfling, then next turn get Emery in. I think that's better. Pay 2 life here for the Delighted Halfling, and then the Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Let's go ahead and loot with Rona. Let's get rid of the green land. We already found our 1 green source that we need. And we'll just go ahead and take their Chilling Trap, I imagine, but let's just wait until their end step just in case it matters. End turn. Alright. So next turn looks like Jace the Perfected Mind. And we potentially have a line from there. It'll probably come as the next turn. No, oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so we'll take from their graveyard Chilling Trap. They're also targeting my Rona, so I will Rona activation. We find a Plaza of Heroes. I'll get rid of the Mana Confluence. We still have our hit here. Alright, fine. Harmonic Prodigy get in for 6. No blocks. Our turn. Plaza of Heroes. It's gonna just be Jace. Okay, Jace in full. Jace go for -5.
I've already read your thoughts.
I'm gonna hold up my Delighted Halfling here.
Your victory, all your hopes and dreams.
I don't know how big they're gonna get with Harmonic Prodigy, but I'm a little scared. We have Kinnan, and we have no Mox Ambers. Okay. That's actually a pretty bad spot for us to be in. Alright, we might actually not be able to win this one here. I think they're not going to need that much in order to just get me here. Yeah, look at all that. If that's just not lethal, I don't know what is. So Adeliz plus Harmonic Prodigy. Definitely not the Wizard aggro we're used to seeing here, but a cool one nonetheless. Alright, well that was a pretty quick one right there. That is our round 3 in the bag. Finally, we were handed an L. It's inevitable. Alright, so that was round 3. Let's hop into round 4, starting now. Alright, round 4. Yes, I will keep this hand. So, we'll start with the top land. We'll try to utilize Rona plus Kinnan. Oh, alright, they get to take us out here. Let's see what they grab. If they take Agatha's Soul Cauldron, that's the best. If they take anything else, it's kind of annoying. I think Kinnan's probably the worst thing for them to take. That'll force us to play slow. Alright, they take the Kinnan, darn. Seeing as they play Thoughtseize, we want to get our Rona out. And... oh, that's awkward. I can't play Delighted Halfling, too. Alright, we'll play Rona. Next turn, I can play Halfling plus Mox Amber plus Agatha, so that's 2 triggers on Rona. I think it's worth it to hold up in that case. Assuming that she survives. Looks like she's dead. Is this cut down? It is, okay. Move to our turn, we find a 3rd land anyway. We'll go ahead and play Delighted Halfling plus Soul Cauldron plus Mox Amber. Alright, so we can give our Rona activation, our Rona flip activation to Halfling if we really wanted to. Don't see how that would help us, so we'll pass. And we might just need to play a value Jace next turn. It's not often that that has to happen. Sure, this can die. It is what it is. We'll go ahead and take out probably Thoughtseize. I think that's one of the ones that we don't want them to be able to recast. Here's Great Hall of the Citadel. We go in with a Jace. We will go ahead and mill ourselves plus draw. Another Mox Amber is not the move. We'll pass. So now we just want to find a creature. We have useful things in the graveyard. This Shieldred kind of sucks. Shieldred really sucks, actually, because I don't have a way to protect myself. Well, the Seiju is a thing that exists. Sure. Let's go ahead and mill ourselves for 2 draw. We are able to put a Zerda in the way. Let's do this. Grab a Zerda. And we will pass the turn, I think, unless, yeah, we didn't mill anything useful. Okay, end turn. Looks like they probably just kill us. I can either attack in... we just need to make sure that Jace doesn't die. If Jace goes down in loyalty, I don't care. Yeah, I'm fine to not block this. I'd rather they use their mana for something like killing my Zerda. Well, okay, for Phyrexian Obliterator, fine. Well, we have one way to deal with that. Well, 2 ways. One is to find our bounce spell. 2 is to just let Jace face tank it for a bit. We will take the Shieldred's Edict. That has more uses. Alright, we need to get lucky with a mill here. We'll go ahead and draw. We find the Cyclonic Rift. This will be good to keep our Jace alive for 1 more turn. We will mill. And we just need to find our Mr. Kethis here. That is not the guy. At some point we need to think about Cyclonic Rifting Shieldred instead of the Obliterator. I mean, both are bad, but it's not ideal either way. So, we have actually enough to Cyclonic Rift on my opponent's turn, which is good. No attacks. I want to not play that as a spell. We will just end turn here. Okay, so before we go to our turn, we'll be able to Cyclonic Rift. Just make sure that Jace is still alive. They attack. Okay. Do I Cyclonic Rift or just Chump Block? I do believe I need to have creatures, so I'm going to Cyclonic Rift. Autopay. Take a little bit of damage, but we will hopefully just be facing down the Shieldred next turn. What do they recast? They recast the Shieldred, makes sense. We'll get rid of their Fatal Push. I could have taken a non-legendary out of my own graveyard to make Zerda potentially able to fight with a Shieldred, but I don't think they're interested in doing anything in the field. Ooh, and now this is bad too. We'll go to our turn. We will draw. And an Emery is good. Emery's definitely good. We go to 7 though. Let's see, what can Emery mill? Not what we need. We need to mill ourselves again. Go to 5. We still don't hit what we need. Kinnan is good, but not the move. Alright, what do we have in here? Is there anything useful? I mean, we can use Emery to start trying to loop our Mox Ambers next turn. Yeah, unfortunately, we just don't have things to do. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We'd have 6 mana with our Mox Amber, so that is... Oh, we actually have exactly 7 for a Kinnan activation. Alright, we'll keep this Mox Amber, and this is activated instant speed, okay. So we're going to go to 3 next turn, then to 1. Let's get lucky. We can maybe get out of this. We just gotta get lucky. They might take their turn playing a Phyrexian Obliterator. Oh, how are we gonna block here is the question. Let's activate Kinnan and then decide after. If we even hit anything. We find Kethis. Kethis is a fine chump block, actually. No, not this. We'll move to blockers. Block with Kethis. If Kethis dies, it's okay. And then on our end step, we will do something about our Agatha's Soul Cauldron here. Okay, they go for the Phyrexian Obliterator. That shields down as far as I'm concerned. We're going to go Agatha's Soul Cauldron on our Kethis. Attempting to put a counter onto Kinnan. Even if they kill Kinnan, we can still go again. So we'll move to our turn. We will draw for turn, go to 2. We cannot mill ourselves with Jace anymore because we'll die. So we'll need to be very careful about that. We have a Kinnan. That is not the card that we wanted to see. We can make some mana. So let's see. We'll start with making some mana. We're going to Emery. Cast a Mox Amber out of our graveyard. Make some more blue mana. Now we are able to activate our Kinnan. Our Kethis Kinnan. Get rid of Emery Otawara. We'll cast a Jace. Milling ourselves.
For the sake of Phyrexia, I will keep watch.
Alright. And we have 14 cards in deck left. We should be able to go from here. We'll go ahead and do first Jace.
I'll take note of all your
Alright, an opponent sees the lines. All right, well, we were able to make it happen. That was round 4. So let's just do this as a thought exercise, figure out how this was going to work. So Jace mills our opponent for 15. We need to do it 3 more times after that. We have 30 cards in graveyard. That approximately just means, like, you can count it like 10, maybe between 5 and 10 activations of Kethis. That means that we'll be able to get some Mox Ambers out. We actually could mill ourselves for the last 15 because clearly our 2 final Mox Ambers are in there. And then from there, it's just going to be as easy as just a Jace uptick, actually. So now that I think about this, yeah, I could have just milled myself for the last 15, and then because I have a Jace uptick and win. I don't know if the trigger for Shieldred goes on before my attempt to draw with Jace would cause me to win. I believe my ability of Jace would happen first because the Shieldred doesn't go onto the stack until I've attempted to draw, and the state-based action of checking to see if my library is empty would cause me to win. So that is the quick way to do it. The slow way to do it would be to just, mill myself for the last 15, and then recast these Mox Ambers through our numerous Kethis activations. Then we get to mill our opponents out. And we got to do all of this without a Kethis on the battlefield. It was all our modified Kinnan. Very cool. This definitely shows you that you can do a lot more things with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. It's not as simple for the opponent anymore as removing Kethis. Alright, well, it hasn't been the most clean games, but I never said that I was a ace pilot at this or anything. I'm sure a lot of you guys there might be a bit more when it comes to a deck specialist of this. So, if you see lines that are optimal, let me know, because I'm trying to learn. With that being said, that was our round 4 finished out. Let's play one more, try to end strong, and just play it out. Let's go. Okay, final round. Here it is. Let's go. We have a Kethis. It's going to pain us a lot to get to that Kethis, though, but I think it's worth it. So we'll start with Arona. And here comes the damage. We're against Elves, which is a deck that we really don't want to be hitting ourselves in the face too often for. And this is just going to be 2 combo decks passing in the fog. So what happens now? I need to get Kethis, Kinnan, and Jace all onto the battlefield. We're going to start with a Rona activation, draw discard. Since I have the Kethis in hand, I'm down to discard Agatha's Soul Cauldron eventually, but not before I discard 2 of these 3 Kinnans. We will cast one of the Kinnans, just in case this draw gives us a Mox. Does not. Cyclonic Drift is good, though. I'll get rid of the other Kinnan now, as promised, and pass turn. I might need a Cyclonic Rift next turn, depending on what they end up doing. It is Paradox Engine. Wow. So Paradox Engine will have to go away. They can make 4 mana here. They might actually just be able to go off here. Wow. So Paradox Engine Elves. Is this how we're finishing out this series? They have access to 4, 5, 6 mana. I'm surprised they don't go in more. I'm not taking this block. And I really want another land here. The Mox Amber is basically a land. We're going to activate Rona. We're going to get rid of the Cauldron now. So we have 4 mana to work with. If we think we can survive a turn, it is worth it to Jace. If we think we can't survive a turn, if we think we cannot survive the next turn, then we have to Cyclonic Rift away at maybe the Paradox Engine or something. Even then, I think they just still get going. Oh, this is a tough decision for sure. We have access to 5 mana. I think I need to draw discard with Rona. because if I draw another Mox Amber, then I have overloaded Cyclonic Rift, and we just win this game. Oh my gosh. Well, look at who it is. We'll make 2 mana here. We will Mox Amber. We will keep the good one, and then we will cast with an overloaded Cyclonic Rift to put our opponent's hand back, or put their total board back into their hand. And I think from here it's going to be as simple as playing Kethis one turn and Jace the next. Even as it stands, we can recast the Mox Amber, getting ready for our Jace. So I think we can actually just combo next turn. Yeah, I think we can. They play Llanowar Elves, and then it'll have to just be Visionary or follow-up Elves. That was the most timely Cyclonic Rift I've ever seen. Alright, so we go with Kethis. Auto pay, we want to mill with Rona. We'd ideally like to discard a legendary card, which we do have the pleasure of doing. And we will go ahead and cast Jace, mill ourselves, and then go on with the aforementioned loop. Thinking about it just a little bit, this should be one of the more simpler ones where we already have a Mox Amber on the battlefield, Mox Amber in the graveyard, and a Kinnan to double the mana output. Jace mills us, we recast with Kethis, getting more and more Mox Ambers till we are all good. Then we just recast the Jaces, milling our opponents out, and it is GG. We even have the other Jace already in the graveyard. Alright, well, we had some very deterministic wins get set up here, and yeah, it was overall a pretty solid showing out of the deck. I think that it's definitely a lot more powerful now, with the redundancy that Agatha's Cauldron is giving us. And I'd love to know what you guys think. So if you have been piloting the deck to some success, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you're playing, how your deck list differs from mine, and in general, how you're feeling about this new addition to the deck. With that being said, if you enjoyed the video, you can show your support to the channel by liking the video and subscribing if you are new here. Also, comments help me with the YouTube algorithm, so you know, drop something random if you're feeling it. With that being said, that is all for me. Deck list is going to be in the description as usual. Make sure to check out the original video for Kethis combo from the original Tales of Middle-earth drop, in case you haven't seen that already. It released earlier today as well alongside this video. And with that being said, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for stopping by, and peace out.